Good day, everyone. I welcome you to another episode of the Gido Approach to Chemistry. And in this particular video, we'll be talking about the relative vapor density under rate of diffusion. So our next video will be on the rate of diffusion, but I feel like for me to explain rate of diffusion so well, there is need for you to understand what we mean by relative vapor density. Relative vapor density. I only work with definition that much. Please, what you should know is that relative molecular mass of a compound or of any substance at all is 2 times the vapor density. So if you multiply your vapor density by 2, you are going to get the relative molecular mass of that particular compound. It is as simple as that. Let me show you something. If they ask you what is the vapor density for the following compound, we have CO2, we have CO, we have H2O, and we have NO2. Or let me remove this and put chlorine here. So what you do here is that let's solve for we know the relative molecular mass, it becomes easier. So here is 12, oxygen is 16 times 2, that will give us 12 plus what? Plus 32. Then here is 12 plus oxygen is 16, so here will give us 44. 12 plus 16, here will give us 28. Then hydrogen is 2, 1 times 2, yes, plus oxygen is 16, that gives us 18. Chlorine is 35.5 times 2, that will give us 71. Now, this is the relative molecular mass of the compound. Like what I said, relative molecular mass is 2 times the vapor density. So if you have gotten the relative molecular mass and you are looking for the vapor density, therefore our vapor density equals to relative molecular mass divided by 2. So which of them has the lowest relative molecular mass? The answer is already hydrogen. But let's calculate. This divided by 2, we have 35.5. This divided by 2, we have 9. This divided by 2, we have 14. This divided by 2, we have what? 22. So this is the vapor density, and this is the relative molecular what? Mass of those compounds. Now, let's read this question closely. So as long as you have this concept already, I believe that you know the difference between relative molecular mass and vapor density. So if you were given the relative molecular mass of the compound, divide that compound by 2 to give you the vapor density. Another thing again you should take note of, we are going to go to rate of diffusion probably in our next video, but take note of this. The higher the relative molecular mass of the compound, the slower or the lower the rate of diffusion. That means the one that have the highest rate of diffusion here is water, followed by, please, okay, let me say water, followed by carbon monoxide, followed by carbon 4 oxide, carbon 2 oxide, followed by carbon 4 oxide, followed by chlorine. Please, if this water is liquid, we are not talking about diffusion of liquid though. The liquid doesn't diffuse. Whenever we hear the word diffusion, we are talking about what? Gases. So please take note. All of them must be in what? In gaseous state. If not, the one that is liquid have the highest rate of diffusion, or it will not even diffuse. What I mean by diffusion is, if for example you spray a perfume in this part of the board, in this part of the house, then if you go to the other part of the house after 5 to, let's say after 20 seconds, you can perceive the perfume from the other end of the class, right? That is how diffusion is. So the movement of gaseous molecule from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So that means it must flow, it's going to move. I was preparing something a few minutes back, and I realized that when I was trying to prepare for this class, I perceived something. I said, seeing that what I'm cooking is burning already, I have to rush down there, and I realized that it is actually burning. How was I able to notice that? Because of what we call rates of what? Of diffusion. So there is a concentration there, which is diffusion generally. The concentration there was kind of high, so it moved from that place to where I was seated. So that is how it works. So that is just everything you need to know about diffusion. But there's one question that most persons will always see in their exam, and I feel like it is very, very important I also explain that question in this video. So let's go through the question. The question says, an evacuated flask with 3.50 when filled with dry hydrogen, 3.50 when filled with dry hydrogen, and 3.982 gram when filled with dry chlorine at STP. When empty, the flask weighed 30.23. So that means before, let's go again, the dry hydrogen, let's say volume of, if you want to calculate the mass, we are not talking about volume now, mass of dry hydrogen, then mass of what? Mass of dry chlorine. Let's stop here first. Now, if you look at this, they gave us the mass of dry hydrogen as 30.50. So let me write 30.50, and the mass of dry chlorine is given to us as what? 39.82. But this is not the original mass, because we were told that when the flask is empty, it originally weighed 30.23. That means the mass they get to us here is the weight for the flask and that of dry hydrogen. Let me give you an example. If you go to the market and you say maybe you want to buy 10 kilogram of, let's say 5 kg of chicken, and the pan is not the whatever they use to weigh. The pan is not there. I mean the pan is not there, and it's already reading 0. If the lady should put the chicken in this your pan and then put it on top of the weigh, that means she didn't sell just the chicken for you. She sell the chicken and the pan, because the chicken plus the pan, that's what weigh the 5 kilogram. So if you truly want to get the actual weight of the chicken, you have to put the pan on top of the whatever before you rescale it to 0, to know that you are starting your reading from 0 before you put the chicken inside the pan. So that's how it works. So if you add the two together, that means what you weigh, it is not just the chicken, it is the chicken plus what? Plus the pan. That's exactly what happened here. So the weight now is 30.50, but the weight of the flask itself is what? Minus 30.23 minus 30.23. So it is best you remove the weight of the flask to get the weight of dry hydrogen. So we have 30.5 minus 30.23. Our answer there is 0.27. So we have 0.27. So 0.27 gram, that is hydrogen that is present. So the other part is 39.82, minus 30.23 equals what we have there. We have 9.59 gram. So that means what we have here is 0.23 gram of what? Of dry hydrogen, and 9.59 gram of what? Of dry chlorine. That means this whole thing here should be changed to 0.27 gram, and here should be changed to what? To 9.59 gram. That is the original weight of dry hydrogen and dry chlorine. But that's not what we are told to calculate. We are told to calculate the relative molecular mass of what? Of chlorine. So we can't calculate the relative molecular mass until we get the vapor density. So we say vapor density is equals to the mass of dry hydrogen, of dry chlorine, all over the mass of dry hydrogen. So what is the mass of dry chlorine? We have 9.59. What about of hydrogen? 0.27. So if you calculate, let me check, divided by 0.27, we have 35.5. So 35.5 is the vapor density. So vapor density is equals to 35.5. And we are told to calculate the relative molecular mass, which is equals to 2 times vapor density, which is equals to 2 times 35.5, which is equals to what? 71. Like what I will always say, chemistry questions are usually standardized questions. If they give me something like this to calculate in the exam, I won't calculate. I'm talking about a CBT based exam. I won't calculate, because I know that the relative molecular mass of hydrogen is already 35.5, and the vapor density will always be 71. As simple as that. Chemistry questions are not questions that are abstract. These are practical questions. These are questions that are standardized, and the answer in Abraka will remain the same. In that of Lagos will be that of UK, will be that of, they are standardized. But though there are some factors that might affect the answer, but questions that you see like this are experimented questions. So these are not questions that they will just change values and all of that. So the answer will either be 35.5 for vapor density or 75 for the relative molecular mass. If you find this video helpful, what are you waiting for? Like, share, and if you have any question based on what I've explained so far, feel free to drop that in the comment section. I will be there to attend to all your questions. And if I feel like the question is kind of elaborate and I can't explain that in the comment section, I will definitely create another video for that. And that will be the end of our class. See you in the next class on rate of diffusion. Thank you.